You know we're trying to build this community in 2018, so if you like what I do here, go ahead and subscribe and click that bell, and I'll keep dropping these vids just for you. If you want to support the channel, check out my website, nightphoenixpress.com. You can find digital and physical copies of my books, role-playing games, and even drawing paper. The money helps support me as well as fund new content, so go check out my site. Hey guys, Nathan Brendan Masters. Now before I jump into this, I want to say hi to all the new subscribers and thank you for subscribing. How are you guys doing? And let's get into it. You know it's coming upon that time. 2 days left in the 28 days of drawing, and this is today's piece right here. All right, so this is a drawing that I did. It's not particularly manga in itself, but it's based on a manga drawing and based around that style. You can see the influence, but it's not completely manga. And this is something I'm looking at, this ideal of drawing and kind of coloring the important things, but not the whole image. Just something I'm kind of kicking around again for style. Not something I plan to do with the manga itself, but something I may plan to do with, or I may do with other books in the future. So it's just something I'm kind of kicking around that may make life easier for me as far as coloring goes. So I got to use some different stuff today. This image, since none of you wanted my little old deleter paper, I actually started using it, and I used it. It was very nice paper. Like I said before, it does have its uses, and the G pen goes over this stuff like butter, So I used the G pen. I actually used a ballpoint pen, some other stuff too. In fact, I used the deleter G pen, which up until now I had only used with my smooth comic book board. I also used a brush. This is from the Princeton Art and Brush Company. This is a number 4 round brush, and this is my main brush. You've probably seen this in other videos. I have a smaller brush that I use as well. So those are my brushes, and I also used the green Tumble brush pen. This was number 346. I tried some of the watercolor stuff with it. Didn't seem to do as well on this paper as it was doing on the watercolor paper and some of the heavier comic book paper, some of the heavier Canson paper. I also used a regular Bic ballpoint pen. This is just a basic click pen you can find in any Walgreens. You can grab them. They're like $2 or something, $2 or $3 for a pack. And this, you guys know, is another of my deleter nibs. It's just in a Blick Nib Holder. So I got that from Dick Blick. So those are actually, they're pretty decent price if you get them offline. Now, the reason I didn't record this is I thought I started drawing before I actually thought about recording it. But you can see what I did here. The door and the room were drawn in ballpoint pen, as you can see. So I did the leggings with my ink wash over here, and that turned out a lot better than some of the stuff I've done with wash before, and it didn't go through the paper. So again, the deleter paper is holding up very well. And you can also see some, like a little bit of the shading, the little pieces and things that I shaded. I did a lot of that shading with ballpoint pens. I hope you can't hear all that noise. There's like all kinds of stuff happening outside. But yeah, I did that with the ballpoint pen. So there's some parts on here you can see I would just do line shading. And like I said, I just used the ballpoint pen to do it. And this is what's kind of, the ballpoint pen is just smooth. It's incredibly smooth on this paper, and it actually shows up very well. So this is like the best I've seen a ballpoint pen actually show up on paper. It shows up on a smooth Bristol pretty well too. So I can't say it shows up on a smooth Bristol. But what I would do is I would just go around the character and add like little lines like this for shadow. And I don't know if I want to do that. That's like the cross-hatching type stuff. And I don't necessarily know if I want to do that, although it looks really nice, depending on how you do it. And I'm thinking about how I would use it in conjunction with the wash. And I know you can do both. And but I don't know if I'm going to actually use any ballpoint pens. You know what? It's art. It's experimental. The manga will be black and white, but I'm thinking I may do a book in color. That's one of the things that I'm kind of throwing around in my head. Do I want to do one book before I actually dive into doing a complete manga? Maybe one where I use a partial color technique like this and then go into the manga, or should I go directly into the manga? So let me hear your thoughts on that in the comments. It really does kind of feel better to do that kind of partial color thing first, just to see what it would be like, and I can work with I can work with characters I already work with or something like that. And plus I have a lot of this watercolor paper, and the paper that I'm using for the manga is the leader paper in the smooth Bristol board. So I have a lot of that, so I'm really thinking, what do I want to do here? But there is something to be said about diving right in. So let me know what you think in the comments. You guys take it easy. Nathan Brendan Masters. Awesome.
We knew it would come one day, and this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn and never die, looking through the eyes of a brand new life. It's so